Hi YouTube, it's Lena, and I'm here today with a newer type of project pan. I originally saw Chic Geek, I mess up her name all the time, so I actually have it like pulled up for me, where she has two different projects called Project 10 Uses and Project 100 Uses. So I decided to try out one of those myself. So I went with 20 uses. I have 5 products here. The goal isn't necessarily to hit pan, although if I hit pan in something, that would be great. Although I don't think 20 uses is enough to do that. But it's just, you know, get rotating through my collection a little bit more, kind of a shop my stash type of thing, but I can never remember to film those videos on a regular basis, so I think this will be the way that I'll go. So I will update every month, even if I've only used everything a couple of times, just to show you some usage, let you know what I'm doing with it, that sort of thing. So 5 products, some are old, some are new. First one I have here is one that I've actually mentioned recently. It is the Natasha Denona Mini Lila palette. It's just 5 shades out of the larger palette. So I figured that would be fun to play with. I'm apparently in a very purple mood because 2 things in here are purple based, including this one. And the other thing I have is actually a blush. I've seen some people doing like ranking my blushes recently. Chic Geek actually watched one of hers semi recently and this was on it. And I'm like, I haven't used that in a while. I should bust this out. It is the Urban Decay Afterglow 8-Hour Powder Blushes, which they don't sell anymore, unfortunately, although you apparently can still find some of them lingering around, like TJ Maxx's and the like. This is the shade Bittersweet, and usage will count if I use it as an eyeshadow or as a blush, by the way, because I could see this being like an amazing crease color as well. It is a very pretty blush. I will totally use it as a blush, but, you know, that would be a bomb-ass crease color. Next is something I bought from a Boxy pop-up somewhat recently that I haven't really fooled with yet, and one shade came broken, so of course it took me forever to repress it. It is the Storybook Cosmetics Fairytales, one of their little mini palettes. This one is in Robin Hood. I actually did cancel my BoxyCharm recently because I was just not as excited about it as I used to be. But there are 6 shades. I'm sure you could tell which one broke. I'm sorry, the focus of my camera is acting weird right now, so I'm kind of trying to make it go back into place. So we have Maid Marian, that's the shade that busted. Quiver, Nottingham, Forest, Merryman, and Robin Hood. So I figured that would be fun to play with. I have the, I think it's the Red Riding Hood version of this as well that I will probably roll in once I roll this out. Speaking of BoxyCharm, we have something that I have not touched. It is from the March Boxy Premium. And it's their own Hello Charmer BoxyCharm palette. Now, I haven't heard good things about this, but as you can see, mine is brand stinking new. So I figured, let me try it out, fool with it. And hey, if I've used it a couple of times, I've used a couple of these shades and they're like major duds, I might roll it out and declutter it. So who knows with this one. This one is definitely a test to see if it stays in my collection sort of thing. And finally we have a much older palette actually. Like the 3 other palettes are relatively new to my collection. I've had the Natasha Denona for a while and I've used it a few times, but the other 2 I haven't used yet. But this I'm well familiar with. It is the Balms in the Balm of Your Hand Greatest Hits Volume 1 palette. It's like from a couple of holidays ago. This is the one that actually has like the cream cheek products in it. So I primarily use this as a blush palette because I mean that's what I wanted it for, was to get some of these blushes right here. I will say the bronzer Bahama Mama does not work for me. Like, for whatever reason, it clashes really badly with my skin tone and it pulls green. And it does that to some people, and some people are like, I don't know what people are talking about. I'm assuming it's some skin tone issue that just makes it not work with everybody, but we also have like some eyeshadows down here. You have the mini of the Mary Luminizer. So just in theory, I use this primarily as a blush palette, but if I use one of the eyeshadows one day, that's still gonna count as a use. So there you go. So that is it. Like I said, I'll be back next month to let you know like how many times I use different things, if I did any particular looks with them, or say incorporated some of the eyeshadows into my Pan That palette. I will let you guys know. So that is it. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, I do really appreciate it, and hopefully I will see you later.